We'll call the meeting of the loan committee to order. Savannah, are you available to take roll?
I can do that for you, absolutely. Let's see, loan committee. Jeff Meredith,
Present.
Cindy Youngkin,
Here.
Porter Bennett,
Absent.
Tim Kober,
Here.
and that is loan committee.
And
Thank you.
Mark.
Mark Berry as well.
Mark Berry is here.
I'm here, yes.
Thank you.
All right, first item on the agenda, public comment. Is there any public comment on issues within the committee's jurisdiction?
No hands.
No hands, okay. Moving on, approval of the May 24th, 2023 and June 22nd, 2023 committee meeting minutes. I'll entertain a motion. Motion from Cindy.
Second.
Second from Mark. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Dan, Executive Director.
All right, a lot of work, but no loans on the housing front. Meetings with Yellowstone County, Gallatin County, Billings, Bozeman. Next week, met with Roberts, Livingston, Missoula City, Missoula County, East Helena's on the list. Just trying to get the word out. I would anticipate an application from both City of Missoula and Missoula County at your next board meeting. Otherwise, the budget office has a whole lot of new great ideas on the down payment assistance program and those funds that weren't drawn down. So I would anticipate some form of round three within the next several months. Likely on the housing side as opposed to the commercial side. But we're still working through what they and the governor are comfortable with, but it's gonna pick up on that side a lot.
So are you at the table so they're not doing crazy things?
Yes.
Do they listen to you?
If they don't, I say, you know what, that would be a great opportunity for the Department of Commerce to succeed. Send it over there.
Do you have an idea of how much of the round two funding would potentially get rolled over?
So between we know round one right now, we have an estimate on round two. Let me give you a better number.
And then their focus would be to potentially shift that over to.
From the commercial side
commercial side
to
to
the
the housing
residential
side.
side. Yep. I think the link deposit aspect of the loans and the investment policy statement seems to be the most attractive to everybody out there. So I'm a little nervous that we'll have not as much activity on the bond and the loan side, but a lot of interest on the link deposit side. From our perspective, if we get the houses built and we're fully collateralized, great. So that's we'll see.
Is there interest with small group of banks, big group of banks in the link deposit?
So the Bankers Association is currently transitioning. Carrie Hagerberg is retiring as the executive director. Sam Sill, who used to be with the Realtors, is now taking over. So I'm gonna try to get lunch with them before that transition takes place. I'd anticipate one of those big giant 100-person Zoom calls like we used to do during ARPA and CARES Act with all of the bankers. I think you're gonna be somewhat restricted on where the money goes based on the size of the banks. I mean, you're not gonna get a lot of big multifamily housing developments out of your smaller banks, particularly when you have to fully collateralize the link deposit. There's only a few banks in the state that play in that direct purchase municipal bond space. So I think that would be fairly narrowly limited to them on the Louise side of the house.
Right.
Otherwise, Doug's just moving money like crazy.
All right, anything else? Great. All right, moving on to Doug. So in-state loan requests. So we'll start with Eagle Enterprises.
Yeah. Good morning. So Eagle Enterprises is Don K. Chevrolet, Chrysler, Jeep, and Subaru and Whitefish. The lender is Bank of Montana. The loan breakdown on the first page there, you can see Bank of Montana is at 20%, a little over $1 million. You can see their interest rate. The term is for 20 years. And then you can see the annualized payment. The Board of Investments, our 80% portion, you can see our loan amounts of 4.1 million. Our interest rate is the 4.505, and then the lender servicing fee of 0.5%. So the borrower will end up paying 5.005 on our portion. Same term, and then you can see the annualized payment. So the total financing is $5,125,000. I've reviewed the request, recommend approval of the loan. Purpose is to do long-term financing on the improvements of the building. You know, it meets the debt service coverage requirements and the down payment requirements in order for us to participate in 80% of the loan. So I guess I would open it up to any questions you guys might have on this credit.
I have a question. It noted on page 6 that there's 4 guarantors, but it says 3 of them are guaranteeing the debt, but their financial information has not been analyzed. Is there not joint and several liabilities between all guarantors?
Well, they're all liable as guarantors on the loan, but we didn't receive any financial information on those individuals because their net worth is not substantial for the credit. It's pretty much Don is the strength in this credit.
And the guarantees aren't pro rata, so, you know,
Yeah.
Don K would, you know, if there was any deficiency associated, he would be liable for the entire deficiency. He wouldn't have to try to collect it equally from the 4 guarantors.
Unlimited guarantees is what they are.
On the rate, is that approximately where the current 20-year participation rate is, or was this
Yeah.
locked and bought down?
Well, it was locked in probably a year ago, so it's not where the current rate
It's
is.
not
today.
quite what the current one. Okay.
Yeah.
No, we were 7.7 the other day.
Okay. that
They
makes more
lost at the
sense.
right time.
Because I saw that rate and I was gonna go tell everybody in town that they need to come do some participation. So,
Yeah, Bank of Montana typically locks in rates early. I mean, and they watch the rates closely.
Yeah.
But when they have projects that they know are coming down the pipe, they look at locking in rates
Yeah,
pretty
okay.
early.
yeah, well, it was a good move on that one.
Yeah.
Mark?
So, again, back to the ownership. So this is a loan by Eagle Enterprises. And the ownership, you're saying that the guarantors, as you were saying, Cindy, are all equally liable. But under ownership, Don K is only a 1% owner
Mhm.
under the Eagle Enterprises. So how does that work? I mean, there is equal participation on guaranteeing it, but there's only 1% ownership on this LLC.
So the guarantees that you're seeing are personal guarantees,
Okay.
and a business would be guaranteeing the loan, which is the real estate or the operating company will guarantee the loan also. So the percentage of ownership for this piece right here is just saying, here's the owners of the entity. And then from there, it's like, these individual owners will or will not be guarantors on the loan.
Okay. I looked up Drizzt, trying to find out about this managing partner company, and the only thing I could find on Google was that Drizzt is a character in Dungeons and Dragons. So I couldn't find much about the managing partners.
It's John's sort of loan.
But I would say, Mark, just from doing some loans over the years, that ownership is not that unusual. I mean, usually maybe the main guy might have a little more, but it doesn't run a red flag to me at all.
Those are his kids.
Yeah.
Right.
And we look at ownership too, so that we can have the Department of Revenue do the check on all of the owners so that they, that they're current with their obligations with the state of Montana.
So are we approving this, Mr. Chairman? Is that?
Yeah, if there's no other questions, I'd entertain a motion for approval. This one will have to be approved because of the total size of their prior participation exceeds 5 million, so this will have to be approved by the loan committee and full board.
It kind of makes it easy when the full board goes to the loan committee, so we'll just have a short presentation.
Sounds good.
Do the vote.
I'll move it, move the loan.
Second. Motion from Mark, second from Tim. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Approval, all right. Continuing with you, Doug, on to your next loan for, the name right, for Brett's, M2D2 Holdings LLC.
Okay, thank you. So the borrower, as Jeff said, is M2D2 Holdings and Billings. The lender is Bank of Montana. The loan structure on this shows the Bank of Montana at 20%. You can see their loan amount, their interest rate, the term is 20 years, and then the payment. And then the BOI portion is 80%. You can see our loan amount, our interest rate, the term is 20 years, and then our payment. So the total participation on loan 20035 is $4,058,494. And then the second participation loan, you can see the Bank of Montana portion at 20%. You can see their loan amount, their interest rate, term, and payment. And then the BOI portion at 80%, our loan amount, our rate, our term, and then our payment. And so the total of that participation loan, which is 20045, is $1,298,954. And then you can also see the down payment loan assistance program loan that we have, the amount and then the rate and the term and the payment on that. So the total financing is $6,857,448. One note, the participation loan was split into 2 loans. And that structure was done to comply with the down payment assistance program terms and conditions. These loans that we're looking at here today will have a shared second lien position, and the participation loan that we currently have with Brett's is going to be in a first lien position. So what happened as far as the terms and conditions for this loan was construction started prior to the governor's approval date for this round 2 program. So we couldn't include any of the costs that were incurred prior to that date, which roughly was October of 2022 on that. And so we ended up having to split off that piece for portion before October, and then the remaining piece was after October. So it just looks a little different than what we're used to looking at, but we had to do it to comply with the terms and conditions. Staff is recommending approval of the request, and purpose of this is to provide long-term financing for the improvement of the dealership and Billings. So with that, we'll open it up to any questions that you have on this.
I have a question. I'm not on the committee, but the difference in interest rate, is that because we're doing the down payment assistance due to get an overall rate?
Yeah, the difference in
Not
interest
risk,
rate
it's-
on the front page you're saying
Yeah, well, versus the other loan.
versus the other loan. Yeah, the down payment assistance program was a set rate that we established at the beginning of the program.
But I mean, we're at 6.2 on this one versus 5% on the one for Don K.
Oh, yeah, difference in reserving the funds. So how it works, just so you know, the initial step for a participation loan is for the lender to reserve the funds. And so they can reserve the funds and lock in an interest rate for up to 1 year on this loan. And then if they don't close the loan within that 1 year period, then they have to extend the lock for another year. And they get the same interest rate and, the same loan amount. And they can do that 2 times. So they can lock in an interest rate for 3 years.
So that first loan could be an older loan then, is why
Yeah.
that is. Okay, I'm just curious. I mean.
Yeah.
Thanks.
A question, Carly. On page 7, top of page 7, we're looking at total appraised value. It does list the participation loan at 10040, but there's also a 10041. That's not included in this analysis. Is there a reason why?
Yeah, that is in Missoula, that loan, and it's secured by the collateral in Missoula, where we're just looking at the Billings property.
Okay. Okay. And I have another question. So at the top of page 9, total assets, is that correct? That first line?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
On page 9 at the very top, it says total assets of $255
Mhm.
million. That's correct?
You went into the wrong line of work, Mark.
Yes.
It
It's
doesn't
not
necessarily mean
assets,
there's
it's
a
assets minus liabilities.
Well, which is,
Line of work.
Still, yeah.
So that question on page 7, so we're using the equity on that other loan in order to make this one 80%? Is that what we're doing?
Well, we look at the equity position that it's in.
So we get to 80.9 equity, but we're using that loan that we don't have the cost to. Page 7.
Yeah, what this graph is for the board members who were wondering what was our total exposure to these borrowers. And so if you look at the appraised value of the property, the Board of Investments is 45.2% of this value, just our loans. If you look at the costs of it, we're at 80.9% of the cost of the loan with all of our loans that we're looking at here.
That's just the cost of the incremental improvements to this property, of which, once completed, the total value is the 20.5 million.
That's correct. That's correct. But board members were questioning, well, how much skin does the Board of Investment have into the game? And so this is just to show how much we're in it.
Okay, good, thanks.
Any other questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion for M2 DT Holdings. Motion from Tim,
Second.
second from Cindy. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Next, that one, correct. That one also has to go to the full board for approval. The last one for you, Doug. So the House of Yum LLC. I think this one wins for the best name.
You sure?
This is the, they do business as the Uptown Hearth Bakery in Columbia Falls. The lender is Freedom Bank. You can see Freedom Bank is 20% in their loan amount and their interest rate and term and the payment, and then the Board of Investments, 80% in our loan amount. The rate, there is actually a typo here. The BOI rate is not 4.551, it's 4.51. And then the lender servicing fee at the 0.5%. You add those two together and that's the rate that's on the loan. Our term and then our payment. Staff recommends approval of this loan. Purpose of the loan is to provide the long-term financing for the improvements of the building there in Columbia Falls. So with that, I would open this one up for any questions.
Did you think to get some other goods that we could test?
We did end up with some coffee for the employee, what do you call it? The
Charity raffle.
charity raffle. So if you guys want to come in and put a bid in, you might get some coffee.
I will say, you'll see in Doug's evaluation this year, he ate my Huckleberry Bear Claw from the General Merc.
Oh, yeah.
I think you were off on some extravagant trip.
But it doesn't
And they
matter.
don't keep forever.
There's a freezer now. You have a freezer.
You gotta eat them fresh.
You did.
Is that, is the picture on page 4, is that a rendering or is it actually that far through construction?
No, that's the picture.
Okay.
The plan is to get it going October of this year. I did go there and take a look at the building. I don't know if anybody's been in Columbia Falls lately, but Nucleus Avenue is considered their main street. There's a lot of improvements going on in Columbia Falls and it's really good, really nice looking. It's great for them. I think Columbia Falls is kind of getting into the game, you know, as far as making things look nice up there.
Any other questions? Not, I'd entertain a motion for House of Yum LLC.
I'll move to approve.
Motion from Cindy,
I'll second.
second for Mark. Thank you, Mark. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thanks, Doug.
Yeah, thank you.
Next time, bring samples for quality control purposes.
Okay.
So we can make sure that we make informed decisions.
All right, anything else? Dan, okay, we'll call the meeting of the loan committee adjourned.